Hello and welcome to Keep on Cybertruckin, a podcast where Cybertruck owners share their experiences. My name is Eric. We have Chase here. We have Jerry here. We're waiting on a deal. We're waiting on Chewy. And we also have AJ who's calling in right now that we wanted to cover the Mint 400. AJ and Chewy participated in the Mint 400 just a few weeks ago. We did the live stream. If you were not able to join us live or if you missed that video, you can go ahead and I'll go ahead and link that down below so you can check out the 6.5 hour coverage that we had with the Cybertruck that AJ and Chewy were driving at the Mint 400. And so, yeah, we wanted to kind of do a recap show tonight. We wanted to get Chewy and AJ in and just kind of talk about everything that they experienced at the Mint 400 in the Cybertruck, since it was the first Cybertruck ever to race in the Mint 400. And I know there was a lot of things that were learned. There's a lot of things that we want to talk about as far as the future. And so, yeah, once again, Jerry, but you were there, and why don't you kind of talk about a little bit of what maybe you learned and what you experienced as somebody in the pits?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Yeah, it was a big learning curve. I had never been into a live race like that. It's Mint 400. I mean, you could plan for the best and expect the worst, but I think in this case scenario, I was supposed to stay in pit 3, which was Gene Pit, and unfortunately, I ended up running to pit 2 because they broke down on the way to pit 2, and I was able to the first time they had a D-rate issue, and I was able to talk them over how to reset. Even though Chewy did it, I don't think he waited long enough. When you do a hard reset, you got to give it. I don't know what the stats are exactly, but I told him to wait 5 to 10 minutes. So basically, he did that, and then they got going on the road again. But then shortly after, tragedy struck, and then that's when they broke that spindle upper control arm bolt, and they were able to limp it back to Gene 3, but they basically bypassed pit 2. So I ended up running back to Gene 3, pit 3, and then that's when I hooked up the generator and I charged them. I was able to give them so huge learning curve. Not only did we repair the truck in question, we were also able to charge them. I think I gave them like 100 miles, and that, whatever hour or however long he was at the race at the pit for. So, it's that's how racing is. You build, you break, and you rebuild, and hopefully the next time it's a little bit better.
Yeah, most
Totally.
definitely.
Yeah, turning at the pits, that it was kind of an easy surprise that we were debating on if that would actually be viable or not. But it sounds like that would be the strategy for next year.
Yeah, and they might. The one thing another thing we also learned is that the two previous years, when the Rivian raced and the Chevy raced, I guess the Chevy only had to do 1 lap and the Rivian was forced to do 2.
Right.
But they were allowed to go to the supercharger right there at Prim, and they would stop the clock, and that changed literally the night before. AJ and Chewy went to a mandatory driver meeting, and that's when Mint 400 basically laid the law and said, nope, charging is all included.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it kind of made sense to, I'm kind of glad I took the generator to able to charge them. So that's going to be a
Mm-hmm.
very, very huge advantage for next year, But they might say we got to run all 4 laps. I don't know, That's going to be the real challenge right there. That's going to be a real race. So hopefully we're in it.
Well, yeah, that's something that I want to talk to Chewy and AJ about in regards to, like next year, right? Is the plan to do it again next year? What's, is there anything in between now and then, that they want to participate in? I'm sure there's those are probably things that they probably have talked about already or have some plans. So I would love to hear about that.
Yeah, I believe so. Don't quote me on it, but I believe that there's a Laughlin race that they want to join. There's another race in between, and it's just going to be upgrading and testing the truck until next year, until Mint 400. But the goal is always going to be Baja. So I don't know, AJ and Chewy. I don't want to speak for them, but from the last time I talked to them, they wanted to ditch the air suspension already.
Which could be smart.
Well, see, and that's where we're talking about the $60,000 Cybertruck which is now 70,000, right? We talked about that, I think 2 episodes ago when they made that announcement.
What did happen? That 10-day Elon lied or what? What did he change after the 10 days?
10 days, the price went up $10,000.
Oh, it did?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a $60,000 truck. 11 days later, it was a $70,000 truck.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't follow up on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're waiting on Chewy and AJ. As we're waiting, let's go ahead and talk about some other Cybertruck news that came out recently, which is the Cybertruck that apparently ran into a divider while it was in full self-driving. Let's do the,
Supposedly.
supposedly full self-driving.
Ruined a good rap.
So, yeah, there's this Cybertruck that kind of went viral because there's video of it running into the middle divider. Since that video has been released, Elon has already disputed it, stating that the video that the truck actually was disengaged from FSD 4 seconds prior to the collision.
Right.
So,
yeah, which that's a long way if you consider 4 seconds in that video. Like that's.
Well, it seems like can you time it from there? Like it's
Yeah.
almost like he stopped it right there, right?
Basically.
1, 2, 3, 4.
it was right before that turn.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened to this person exactly, but what I can tell you what's happened to me personally. There's been a couple of times I live on an entrance on a highway where there's no stop, right? And it's kind of like not protected, but you're able to make a left turn and everybody else has a stop, right? So the trucks sometimes hesitate to make that left turn because people are encroaching on the stop, right? So what I have noticed with my truck is when it makes that left turn, it kind of hesitates. So I kind of have to like get out of FSD to force it to go. You know what I mean? So, but what I have noticed when I do that, the steering wheel goes straight. Like no matter how the steering wheel is, and if it's turning, it leads straight. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's actually scared me a couple times because if you're gonna disengage FSD, you better be ready to take over. Like
Yeah.
you already have to have your hands on it, right?
Yeah.
And you can disengage FSD in several ways: stepping the brake, bumping accidentally the steering wheel with your knee. I mean, there's pushing the button accidentally and thinking that it was the volume and it was the actual FSD button. Also, there's many different ways that the FSD could have been disengaged. So
yeah, and the comments even kind of also called out that this happened in August 2025, so that's an older version of FFSD for Cybertruck being on version 13 versus 14 that's on right now. So obviously there could have been a factor there, but I think the issue relied on the driver still supervising. That wasn't happening, and it disengaged too quickly, and they couldn't react.
Well, we have a deal here. Adil joined us in. So what's going on, Adil?
Yeah, not much. Thank you for having me once again.
Of course.
Glad to be back.
Sure.
I mean, I'm not far from Jerry, but
oh, there you go. I didn't even know you guys were there together.
We got Jerryception.
Yep. So we're here back at Tesla Diner after the
Awesome.
Mint 400.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we have AJ is ready now, and I think Chewy's ready. Let's see. Let's get AJ in here.
All right.
There's AJ.
There they go.
Hey guys,
Hey, what's going on?
just hanging out. Just
There's
got done
Chewy
with
as
work.
well.
There's two.
Hey guys.
Yeah, I mean, I thank you again, both of you guys, for joining us. I know you guys are very busy. I was down at AJ's shop just a few days prior to the Mint 400, and I see how busy he is. So we appreciate you guys, stopping by and doing another episode of the podcast, because I think there's a lot of questions that we receive in our videos and on X and YouTube and whatnot about the race and the experience. And I think the best way for us to answer those questions and to kind of get feedback is to talk to the guys who are actually behind the wheel. So appreciate you guys coming on and joining us again.
Oh, for sure. Thanks for having us, guys.
No problem. First question I want to ask is, how much fun did you guys have?
Much.
It
Go
was
ahead, AJ.
it was like an exciting adventure, you know. So it was like, you know, leading up to it and doing it, and then trying to get out of the desert and fixing it, and then just getting to back to our pits. You know, it was like it was exciting, you know. It was like, but for me, it was like, I don't know. It was like, I really wanted to get on it, you know, with that car, but it was every time we would get going pretty good. We had some small little issue, or we were dealing with the airbags a lot, you know, that seemed to keep hindering us, and it would go to a default setting. So, that was like, you know, and I know it has the potential to do really good. And it's just like, you know, just trying to get it to do that was kind of hard. Kind of hard.
Yeah, most definitely. And so let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of those little issues. So the first issue that you guys ran into was the limp mode, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can speak to that a little bit. So what happened is we had upgraded some of the suspension components. You know, like maybe a day before. Oh wait, did I lose you guys?
No. Yeah, we
Oh,
see
okay.
you. You're here.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, we had upgraded some of like the suspension links. I think it was the day before, AJ. And it threw off the alignment like a little bit. And you know, the computer was saying like, you know, alignment recommended. But it was what it was. You know, we couldn't get it aligned in time. So we just went out there and we sent it. And because of that, you know, some of that initial parts of the track. I mean, it was a little rough, and I think because we were already a little bit misaligned, the computer didn't like it, and it threw us into limp mode. Um, but fortunately, right, this is something that Jerry, right, he has a lot of experience with the Cybertruck, and he off roads it a lot, takes it to Glamis. He was able to tell me like, hey man, just do a hard reset, you know, give it like 5 to 10 minutes, and the error will go away. And yeah, sure enough, we did that. Waited 5 to 10 minutes, and then we were, you know, back on the road again.
Yeah, and that was when you guys were where about were you guys on the track when that happened? Do you remember the mile marker?
It was early. I want to say like
Yeah.
mile 4, to be honest. AJ, do you remember?
I don't remember. It was just after all those rocks. You know, we went through all those rocks. It was really rough. And right when we got through the rocks, it shut off, which I thought was odd because we just came out of the rocks and went into something smooth, and it shut off, you know. And then we did the reset and it came back on, and we kept going from there.
Have you had? Did you ever have that issue prior to the race, or have you had it since of the truck putting you in limp mode?
No, it only came on after we had the alignment service like reminder that was popping up. Prior to that, I had you know, that had never happened to me. It
Okay.
didn't even happen to us at all during testing either. It was just
Yeah.
that last like little alignment that we did when we upgraded the suspension parts.
Interesting. Okay. And then after that point, you guys got it going again. You said you reset the system 5-10 minutes and took off. How was that? Well, you know, from that point until I guess the next issue, how was that? What was the terrain like? You know, you guys were talking about some rocks. How was it between those two problems?
It went really well. We were going pretty good. I thought we were going real conservative. We weren't like banging, and we didn't bottom anything out. You know, when we were testing it, we bottomed it out a couple times in the front, but we didn't bottom it out any time this time. And then that the bolt let go, you know, and then we had to get it fixed to try to get to a pit to fix it properly, you know.
I
Yeah.
think you're underestimating the fix part of that, because I don't know if you have the photo.
No,
Eric, that was a hefty trackside fix.
that was one of the best fixes I've ever seen in my life.
Well,
The big
that was
win
chewy,
to
you know.
the big win to those zip ties.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
chewy.
I can speak to the fix. So so that yeah, there we were. I don't know what mile. Broken down. We pulled over because obviously we something felt weird and the steering was off. But yeah, we sheared that upper ball joint that connects it to the knuckle, and we were just thinking like, oh man, like we can't be over so soon. Like we just started the race. Like what are we gonna do? And I looked through our toolbox and I still had the old sway bar links for the front sway bar. And I was like, hey, like, what if I just, stick this in here in the knuckle, and then I'll zip tie the sway bar link to the top of the A arm, and that should be enough for us to limp back. So that's what I did. And you can't see the sway bar link under all the zip ties, but I told AJ, I was like, hey, let's grab every single zip tie that we have, and we'll limp it to the pit. So as I'm sitting there, putting on the zip ties, they keep cracking. Like they were like old zip ties. So I'm like, son of a. So I used all the zip ties, and again, they were all like breaking as I was like tightening them. So I was like, okay, what else? Like, what else can we do? Fortunately, my brother-in-law, like the day before, he was just like, hey man, take these ratchet straps. Like you never know if they're gonna come in handy. And I was just like, oh no, bro, no worries. We have some. We have some. Long story short, his ratchet straps are what saved us, right? I threw two of those Harbor Freight straps
Yeah.
on there, and man, I think we limped it 30 miles to the pit.
Yeah, well, we
No,
cut
Amazing.
through the
that's
access road, so we cut through the access road, so it wasn't so bad to get to the pit. Um, but yeah, that was it amazed me. And what I find interesting too is even with that fix and the spindle broken off, it didn't go into limp mode. So that way,
Yeah.
so
You'd think.
you,
Who
you would
Yeah.
who
I would have
figured,
thought that
right?
it
It
would
it,
go
it
Right.
back
didn't go
into
into limp
limp
mode
mode,
You
there.
were already limping it.
right? Right?
Truck knew. Yeah,
Yeah,
we were trying to figure out because we were watching the data from the truck because the
Yeah.
feed was unfortunately a half hour behind, so we were kind of flying blind to trying to figure out what was going on. We saw where you were on the track, and then I realized, wait, they're spilling off, and then went through the access road, not on the track, and that's when we knew, okay, something was up.
well.
And
Here's
yeah,
one of
ironically, that's when the helicopter got a good shot of you guys pulling up next to that Marshall.
right. Oh, we were asking him which was the safe way to get through that wasn't going to interrupt the race. So he was really nice, and the marshal
Mm.
led us on the right trail to get to the main pit where we had a welder to that gene pit.
Yeah, and what I was going to mention was Chase kind of hit it on the head. After that happened, what the crazy part was that we were tracking you guys via the access that Chewy gave us, and I think it would have been a lot crazier if in that moment we knew exactly what went wrong with you guys, because you guys were actually
Yeah.
going. I know Chewy said you guys were put the zip ties and the ratchet straps to limp back to the pit. I don't think you guys were really limping that much. You guys were actually going a decent speed. And now that
30
I
plus.
know that was the way you fixed it, I mean, that just my mind is blown, because I think you guys were going up to like 40 miles per hour, or maybe even a little bit more than that.
Yeah, that's what we did down that road to get to back to the pit, because I was trying to get it fixed as quick as we could get it fixed and then assess it. Or I told him that was a good access point to get a trailer in case we had to put it on the trailer.
You should find out what brand of ratchet strap that was, because definitely reach out for a potential
Hey,
sponsorship
Harbor
after
Freight.
that. There you go.
Don't sleep
For
on
sure.
Harbor Freight, man. Their stuff is cheap,
100%.
but god dang, does it work?
Hell yeah.
I mean, there's proof right here, right?
Exactly.
So speaking of that, so now that you guys have experienced the race, you guys have already gone through it, the highs, the lows, all of that. How do you guys feel now? What's the plan for the build moving forward? What are you guys looking to upgrade? What are you guys looking to do to the truck?
Well, Chewy can talk about this and I
Go
can
ahead,
jump
AJ.
in there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So obviously there are some things that we got to upgrade, and we're working with Unplugged to, kind of work on the things that went wrong. There's already a revision in place. But beyond that, right? The air suspension on the truck, it's amazing for on road, right? It's super comfortable. Like I can't say enough good things about it. But for like longevity and like for that type of off-road terrain, we really got to do something like some king shocks, like coilovers. So we will be getting rid of the air suspension. We'll be keeping the unplugged A arms and that type of stuff because I mean they're really nice arms and really strong.
Right.
I mean those held up really well. But
Yeah.
yeah, going forward, we're gonna be going with King Shocks. And AJ, you can talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah, we'll probably get the car, dialed in with unplugged first, and then right after they're done with dialing it in with a few upgrades, we're going to take it over to King Shocks, where I think Brett's already ready to make some nice IBP coilovers for it. So it's going to have some internal bypass 3.0 coilovers all the way around, and we're just going to remove the whole air system and bypass it. And then what we're thinking about doing, I think, we talked a little bit about it, but probably racing a smaller local race, maybe Lucerne or something like that, and doing a few laps or get till we burn up a charge and see if we can get that finished, and then go from there maybe to hit one of the other races towards the end of the year for the unlimited, and hopefully be back for the Mint 400 for next year.
Nice. That's. Now, as far as the having how was it having our good friends Jerry and Adil in the pits? Were they
They
did they do
they
their
were
jobs?
they did their jobs and then some. They all helped out, grabbed the parts we needed. Everybody was on point. Everybody was there. Seemed like we had everything necessary and all the people in place. Big shout out to my friends Johnny and Tyler because they stepped in and did the fabrication work that got us to back to the main pit. And as far as that point, really once we got to the pit, it looked like we weren't able to fix it. We need a specially machined pin, and how are we going to find that here in the desert? And we're like, then I'm like, we could weld a bolt on the bottom if we cut that off. And then my friend Johnny's like, yeah, we could, and at least we could limp back and see if we can find any, I told Chewy, let's try to get as many miles as we can to figure out if there are any other surprises, right? Is there anything else we're gonna have an issue with,
Right.
So, the boys welded it up. We got it back together, and it got back to the finish line. I think they're still even driving it with the repair, right, Chewy?
Oh yeah, I mean we took it out last week back to the dry lake bed. We did a bunch of runs, man, and I mean that thing's still holding up. Like,
Right.
yeah, no, that thing is kicking ass.
Yeah, no, I was joking about the guys because at one point, and Chase knows, we were talking to Jerry, and that's when I think kind of chaos hit, where it was like, okay, there's issues with the truck, control arms, and then Jerry's like, I gotta go, and then we just see him take off, and he starts lifting up his truck, and Chase and I are going. I told Chase,
I don't even
bet.
know if they know that. I don't even know if they knew that.
And I go, I guarantee you, knowing he'll take his orange shirt off his back and give it to you. I go, Jerry's lifting up his truck because he's going to start taking his truck apart to give him parts and pieces, and he'll figure out how to get his truck home when he needs to. And so that's why I was teasing, because obviously Adil and Jerry are good guys, and they're always very helpful. So that was a cool moment though, to see Jerry just start jacking up his truck.
You don't have
It's on the stream. It's on the stream. I could see if I could try to find it. Yeah. But let's also talk about another cool moment. There was a point in the race where you guys got the truck back on the track, and you guys hit that dry lake bed. And why don't you guys talk about that? Because that was one of the cooler moments for us, at least, watching.
Right.
Oh
Well,
man, so the dry lake bed. That. Go ahead, AJ. Go ahead.
no, all you, Chewy, go for it.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, when we got on it, it was super super dusty. But I was looking at the map, right, and I was like, all right, so like this is it. Like this is where we can go fast. At that point, we weren't in off road mode anymore because we were still having suspension problems. But I don't know if people know this, but like after you go 25 miles an hour, the suspension drops back down to make it more aerodynamic. But yeah, we were going, and I was telling AJ, I was just like, AJ, like, come on, let's go out with a bang, like, let's do 130, 130, 130, 130. And so we're going, and we were getting close, but right, we were also riding on that repair. So we had to lay off a little bit, but I think 128 was what was good enough, right?
The
So go ahead,
Yeah,
AJ.
2 miles an hour you
you
laid off
know.
is just enough. Love it.
Yeah,
But
that
it
was
probably
actually.
could have
If you
went
guys
a
don't
lot
mind, I want
faster.
to. I think I want to. If you guys don't mind, just for the moment, I just want to play the audio on this real quick because we had a blast with it. So let's go ahead and.
On the lake bed now.
Yeah. Where are they at?
They're
The live stream is on the lake bed. It's actually ahead of where the pings are coming through.
yeah, they're up to 80 miles per hour.
80 miles. Holy shit. 83, 80. Wow. Oh, that's risky. 85.
Oh, they're
hauling
pushing it.
ass.
90.
90.
They're going 93, 94,
95.
95. Oh, come
Hey,
on.
break 100. There you go.
100. There you go.
Going over 100 miles an hour.
110.
Beast mode. 110. 114.
115. Let's go.
120.
He's going 120 miles an hour. He wasn't kidding. Oh, he was not kidding when he said pedal to the metal, man. Oh, my God. He's
Looks like
130,
128. We topped out. Oh man.
Oh wow. Oh, at least we got that. We got Oh yeah, that was good.
We're all high-fiving and shit.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
No, the best part
Running under
for
repair.
me, because I think anybody that knows Jerry's, I call him a mad scientist. He's a little crazy, But when he's looking at it, going, "That's a little risky."
Well, he saw the repair,
I
you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, most definitely.
Crazy. I'm curious, did it perform pretty well on that back half of the track on the repair, like leading up to that lake bed?
Well, yeah, and then every time I'd get to 28 or 20 over 25 miles an hour, it would revert down to a lower setting, which made it difficult. But every time it was up, it was running fine. Like, realistically, the truck can do it. The Cybertruck can finish that race, It's just figuring out these loose ends and getting them dialed in. And down the lake bed, they probably could have got that up to 140 miles an hour. It's just we went into it slow, and I didn't want to go that
Easily.
much faster, And but I figured, let's see what it can do here. But yeah, like even in the starting, off out of the on the infield, we were right with the Porsche. I saw some videos, and it goes well. It's just a stock full truck. That's all it is really. It's but just trying to make it stay together, and we can figure out these little bugs, and bypass certain things. And I think if we bypass the airbags, we're going to be in a lot better shape.
For sure. Even watching that back half, because I think we were able to maybe reset the stream. I know it restarted, and it was really cool to be able to see it live. Like I even said it in that clip that we were seeing updates on the live stream before we would even see pings, the racing map or even the Tesla app. So it was really cool to see you guys come in real time. I know we were talked about it a little bit on stream, but I found out that there's also like an upgraded version of Starlink that it's possible to purchase for like that higher speed. But I don't know if you want to talk about that Starlink setup, but it was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about the Starlink setup. So we ended up just doing a Starlink Mini. I had already bought it before I even knew the Starlink performance existed. I know we talked about it in the last podcast, but yeah, I mean that's maybe something we could definitely do for next time. Initially, I mean, yeah, we had a lot of problems with the stream just staying up. I mean, when we were in that desert though, like there was a bunch of places along the course that like I didn't have phone service.
Mhm.
I mean, we had the Starlink, but some of those places were pretty remote. So yeah, I mean, yeah, next year we can probably upgrade to that Starlink performance. I'll shout out Starlink, hit us up.
Mhm.
Yeah, we need to start tagging them now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any box that you had, like a little PC you had running for the actual stream?
Oh, okay. So actually, so you guys didn't get to see this, but the
Mhm.
day before the race, right, we were putting everything together, and that little computer that I had, actually, I met a dude at the parade on Wednesday, and he came
Mhm.
up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, do you have a live stream set up?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." He's like, "Well, just in case anything happens, like, here's my info." And I'm sorry, I can't remember his company right now. I think it's like Racing Live. I'll give it to you guys that I don't remember. But he set up the live stream for us, and we were able to run that directly from the Starlink, and he was the reason why we were even able to have the live stream.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, we
I
saw
didn't know
that from the stream. We're like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, so shout out to him. I'll get his company information, but it was a good setup, right? Like it was plug and play, minimal stuff to get it going, and that's why we were able to have a live stream because of him.
Interesting. Jerry, Dio, do you guys have anything you guys wanted to?
Yeah, I actually find it hard to believe, AJ. I wanted to ask you. I find it hard to believe that Chewy was the one saying 130 because I thought he was gonna be like this when you hit the dry leg bed. Is
Well,
it really
you know,
true? Because he's like, yeah, 130, 130.
yeah,
I want to hear it from the horse's mouth.
he was the one egging me on to go. He's like, go, 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 and I'm like, okay,
All right.
And then and he wanted to keep going. And I'm like, there's some big holes at the end of this lake bed, and we're all the way dropped down
Oh
low in
yeah.
beast mode, right? So I'm like,
Mhm.
we got to
Yep.
watch out. And then it was dusty too, So it was like, I was looking
Mhm.
out. I'm like, I just wanted to be safe. But no, Chewy
Yeah.
really wanted to go for it. I wanted to go for it, and I really wish, we had a little bit more, but next time, we're gonna keep going. The car's there. They're gonna upgrade it, and that's what it's about. The first Baja bugs, they didn't look nothing like the Baja bugs you see right now. So it's just a step we have to take. And once I think we put the coilovers on and we get the better upgraded part for the A arm, I think we're going to have no problems. I think it's going to go pretty smooth. And I really want to get on it because, the car works so good. We were doing 128 and it didn't really even feel like it. It's all enclosed. We don't have the wind. We have the air conditioner on with music, so it was like, the whole time we had the AC running. You were just cruising around, and we were just being mindful not to get in anybody's way, and because we didn't want to be to interfere with anybody else's race. So we did those things. So I think we gotta go again and try it again, and I think we're gonna have better results.
Mhm. I think one of the best comments we saw in the live stream chat was the like Chevy and all these other teams. They have like hundreds of people. Chewy just has AJ. it, was,
Right?
it was awesome.
Well, there was a lot of us there. He had a lot of support. I mean, me,
Totally.
Dio. I mean, he had a lot of friends, and then Unplug was there. I think
Yeah.
overall we had we had
Mm-hmm.
there was a few of us, but we were all willing to do whatever it took.
Yeah,
All the
I think the respect was
all
definitely there. Like everyone was just like, "Let's go."
all the unplugged guys did an excellent job. They had spare parts. They jumped in under the car and were on it. On top of taking it apart and putting it back together, they had all the tools. They had the cars going back and forth. So between them and Jerry, it was like we had a professional, whole pit crew. I think the guys all
Full
did
crew.
great. Everybody did really good. Everybody really performed and stepped up. And, it brought a lot of us together. So people that never knew each other, they're all got together. And, that's why I think it's going to be fun. The next time is going to even be better.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I'd like to, kind of thank everybody, like AJ said, right? Like we had friends, we had family there, we had girlfriends, we had wives, we had Jerry, we had Dio, Roman,
Yeah.
you guys doing the live stream. Like it took so many people to get us there, but then also to help us continue while we were there. So like I can't give enough thanks to everybody for supporting us, right? Like because of you guys, we were able to do what we did out there. Just thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for sure.
I think you need to thank the zip ties as well, though.
Yeah,
Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight.
There's an idea. We're gonna hit them guys up for a sponsorship.
I bet they would love that story and do a piece on it.
Which brings me to my next topic, AJ. What do you think about a second truck next year at the Mint 400?
Well, you got to prepare it. It's like, like I told Chewy when he began on this adventure, I go, it's like gambling, you're just gonna, if you have two trucks, it's better odds, right? So at least now the tech inspectors and everybody else is kind of more familiar with the vehicle. And, they checked out how we did the cage because I think that's the first Cybertruck that's ever had a roll cage, right? You guys correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So it
No, you're
was
right.
that in itself, making that roll cage inside that vehicle was an engineering challenge in itself. To be able to make it safe, to make it pass tech, to make it strong, and to pick up the right points where we're not taking away anything from the vehicle, but we're just adding. So, there's a couple other upgrades Chewy might want to do. We're gonna do the roll cage now that connects into the rear shock system, to better support the rear mega casting, right? And but yeah, I think after we do that, I think the vehicle is gonna be pretty solid.
So
Jerry,
you don't. Oh, sorry, Tree. So
I
you
was
don't
gonna
think?
say,
Go for it. Go for it.
Jerry, the good thing is you have the benefit that we have Rev 1, right? You're gonna get Rev 2.
Right?
Oh,
So
true.
yeah, so you're gonna get a much better, maybe improved roll cage. I don't know. Go ahead, AJ.
Right. Well, there's only so many ways you can make it because the whole floor is a battery, so it's a real challenge. So, maybe, it just realistically is the back firewall with the tonneau cover because the tonneau cover, if you want to keep it, it doesn't allow you to build the roll cage through to the rear mega casting to the rear shock mount support.
We're thinking about ripping all that out. Me and Adil have been talking about possibly buying a truck, a separate truck, and then ripping all that stuff out and sending it over to you to get a roll cage. And but I did have a question. That's what I was gonna say. So you don't think with those Bilsting shocks we have a chance at least at the Mint 400 with those
Well,
bypass? If I
my
could get my
my
hands on them, because they said they were a year out, right? So
Yeah, well, my only concern with those, especially after this race, because we were gung ho with the Bilsteins. But if they're going to be relying on that air system, you know, I think it would be more reliable just to bypass all of that and just have the four coilovers.
gotcha.
Because you got
Okay.
to think this, even if one of the airlines gets a hole in it or anything, you're going to have an
Right.
issue. And then on top of that, like,
Right.
okay, well, say if you go through that rough rocks, and then what if it throws a default code? You know what I mean? Because I really think it
Right.
shut down wasn't more because of the alignment. I think it shut down because the shocks couldn't keep up with the movement of the
Overload.
tires. Yes. I think that's what happened. I think because it was that really chattery rock garden, and we were making good headway. We're going 35, 40 through there, and it was going to, we weren't bottoming out, but it was chattering. And I think that the computer's trying to compensate for that And I think it was just too much for the computer.
Got that, Wes? We need some help from Tesla too, because I'm sure they're interested in this on all the results too.
Right.
Yeah, and they're actually, I mean, they're coming out with the 60K Cybertruck, right? That one's coming with coilovers, so I'd be interested to see what that's going to look like and look at that design, and then
Right.
maybe improve it from what they're coming out with the King shocks.
Yeah,
Totally.
they need to let us test it.
Yep.
Right. Right. I can whip a roll cage in there, no problem, right? But as far as the Bilstein, I think the Bilstein makes great products. I think if you're really set on them, you could give them a go, but you're gonna have to do some extra work on protecting all the lines and everything else, and on top of
Right.
that, you'd have
100%.
Yeah.
right, and then you'd have to have maybe it plugged in already on the service mode admin. That way you can be able to just bypass any trouble codes that come up immediately. 'Cause that's what you really, I think, need also if you want to use that.
Yeah. No, that's actually a really good point. We actually know a guy, one of our friends. He has a built-in computer already in it, right? So maybe that way it's a quick access. Boom, 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 boom. Get into a
Right.
toolbox and get rid of the code that's in question, and then get right back on the trail. And as far as the builds things, I'm not set on them, but I think that instead of the plastic lines that the truck has now, we could also go with like stainless steel braided lines, and that would be a little bit stronger, protected, But yeah, you're right. One air shock goes and you lose the whole suspension. So it is a weak.
Right. And then if you had the issue like where we had, where it after 25 it kept defaulting to the low ride height, that's an issue too. You wouldn't have that issue with the coilovers because you're just going to bypass the whole system, and you're going to put 4 IBP coilover kings on there and call it a day.
And curious about that specifically. You guys had it in Baja mode, in off road when you're going, or
Yeah, we had it in Baja mode. I think in the rugged setting, and it did really good. But at the very end, after we swapped that air shock, we had to basically do like a recalibration through Toolbox, and unfortunately, like Toolbox wasn't working. It wouldn't let us connect to the truck. So because of that, we weren't able to get it back into Baja mode, and we were literally just driving the truck in beast mode. And then that's what AJ was saying. Like anytime
Makes
we
more
go
sense.
over 25, it would bring us back down to like the low ride height, and that really, really hindered us at the very end. We were going through some of some of those. I think they were like the thumpers or whatever. Yeah, we really had to be tactical and slow and make sure we didn't go over 25, or else it would slam us.
That makes sense. That's when we were watching you guys go through the thumpers. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you guys kept the speed at that about 20, less than 25 miles per hour. Now it makes sense. So
Yeah, and that's why. And I really had to get AJ to keep it under 25 because he kept getting excited. On the dry lake, but I was like, oh, send it. But and on some of those things, I was just like, keep it under 25, get under 25, under 25.
I just I wanted to rip it, it's so bad, because I had all this power and I couldn't put it to the floor,
The lift kit definitely helped, right? I mean, having 2.5 inch lift, if it drops like that, I mean, you're still at least 2.5 inch higher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense why the lift kit is it's a great upgrade to have on the truck. And another thing, like, so for next year, like, you guys think you guys gonna do like 37s maybe, or stick with the 35s?
Well, I think we really, initially we really wanted to do the 37, and they're working on the spindle right now so we can achieve that, because they had a spindle, but we weren't able to get it ready in time with a portal, and that's what we wanted to use with the 37s, because that was the whole basis of the whole of the whole deal, was us running the 37-inch tires, but at the last minute we weren't able to pull it off.
And how did the range look like on the track? Just curious, like you guys, because I remember like even when you guys finished, you guys still had plenty of battery left
Yeah, we probably could have done
after that
140
Gene pit.
miles, 140 off road without a charge. I bet.
Yeah, probably closer to 120. Yeah, we could have easily done the 120 miles.
That's huge. Because I know we're tracking Chevy as well. It looked like they obviously went to the supercharger at the turn, but then they were there for over an hour. Like they definitely charged up as much as they could before they went on. Yeah, it'll be interesting, especially if the runners of the Mint say that you have to do all 4 laps, which I would love to see. Like make it a challenge.
I think it's inevitable. Eventually, I think they're going to call that.
I think
Yeah, I
it's a
mean, we're gonna need some
time
support, right,
concern.
from
They have a time concern because if each lap you take, you have an hour of downtime charging, it just starts getting late into the night, before you can finish the 4 laps. That's one of the limitations.
Yeah,
'Cause I
we're gonna
think
have to get
Chevy.
some support from Tesla and their mega packs with their superchargers, or another company that can provide some really really fast chargers. And I think that would kind of make the 4 laps more attainable. But right now, to AJ's point, I think you're gonna waste at least an hour in between laps charging. So
Yeah.
we're gonna need some type of portable battery or fast charger out there if we want to do 4 laps. If the EVs want to do 4 laps.
But like I said before, um, the Baja 500 or the 250, if we have a decent charger, we could spend an hour or two charging the battery and continue doing the race, but it's just getting a fast enough charger, just like Chewy's saying.
Yeah.
And they changed the policy, right? Like now like before, if you get off the track to charge, they would stop the time. But this year they were adding that time even for the charging, right?
Yeah, and I can speak to that. So I went to the drivers meeting the night before the race, and I was there. We were there, and the Chevy guys were there, and we were asking them like, "Hey, how's charging going to work this year?" And basically, we both collectively agreed that we could count charge time right. Although our battery sizes were different, we could charge a little bit faster on the newer chargers, but they could also charge really fast, but they have a big battery. So we both agreed, like, yeah, we're gonna count charge time. So if you charged at the pits, right, because you were working on the car, like whatever, that's not gonna count against you besides just your pit time. But if you went to the chargers, we said we weren't gonna be able to work on the cars. You were just gonna charge. So that's something that we kind of decided together, us and the Chevy guys and the Chevy team.
Which shout out to them. They did finish. I don't know if you saw that link, Eric.
Yeah, I did.
But I think their average lap time is about just over 4 hours, and completed it, I think, 8.5 with the charging time. So yeah, if you did four laps, then you're going to be into the night easily.
They did I think they did all 4 laps, right? For the Chevy.
No,
the
the
two,
Chevy
just
only
the
did
two
two.
laps.
Two
Yeah.
laps. Yeah. Okay.
They had a few tire changes there.
Yeah, we were tracking them as well, and we noticed that they were stopping periodically, so we were kind of speculating as well. But I think they posted that they had 3 tire changes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, you guys know that it's inevitable that you're going to run into some type of problem. So,
Right.
I mean, yeah, seriously. Do you guys remember when we were testing, right? Like, not even 3 miles into testing, we got a vampire stake through the tire, a brand new tire. So it happens.
Yeah, we showed that on the live stream because we were talking about that, and yeah, that was a gnarly stick that went through the tire.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy. One thing that I wanted to share as well that Chase and I were able to witness live on the live stream that I thought was a really cool moment was right here. I'm gonna go ahead and play this as well. Yeah, and we were talking earlier about just, I'm sure tonight the conversation.
Oh, look at this.
Triangles rule.
Hey,
That,
So the Cybertruck.
I saw them. They like, okay, good finish.
yeah.
Right.
So I thought that was really cool that at the end, just showing the brotherhood, right? You guys went through that. I mean, everybody was a part of it, but at the end of the day, it was you two you guys were in the trenches. And so I thought that was a really cool moment that you guys didn't even know we caught, So that was really cool. So at the end of the day, I tip my hat to both of you guys. The amount of work, and we talked about it multiple times on the live stream, how you guys did this build in 2 months. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. And the amount of time and energy that you guys put into it. I mean, when I found out that Chewy lives in Arizona, which I didn't know, and was driving out as much as he could, taking time away from his family and friends and work to come and help AJ build the truck out. I mean, that's just, it's pretty remarkable, and then even myself going down to AJ's shop and his wife making us dinner, and it's just
We really, I really appreciated it, and I'm happy with all the guys that helped out, and everybody. But that's what I always loved about, like, off-road racing was it just brings people together, and it gives us all a reason to go out to the desert and do something. It kind of really, that's what I always liked about it. It brings everybody together, gets a group of friends together, and we're gonna go try to pull this adventure off and do this mission and see if we can get out of there in one piece or even win the race or at least just have a good time.
most definitely
Doing what nobody's ever done before. Most fun.
Yep. Most definitely. Well, I appreciate you guys joining us, taking time out of your guys' busy schedule. We look forward to seeing what's next. Please keep us updated and looking forward to the next race.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
All right,
Talk
guys.
soon.
Thanks, AJ. Thanks, Chewy.
Yep.
thanks, guys.
Thank
you.
Soon,
Man.
Yeah, we'll talk
Congrats, y'all.
soon.
All right.
All right, take care, y'all.
Yep. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, that's, it's just, and once again, kudos to you guys, going out there. I mean, you guys, Jerry, you too, man. I know both you and Deal put in a lot of time with the build as well, doing
Well,
a
we
lot of
learned.
running around.
It wasn't in vain. I mean, one thing I didn't say on when they were on is that them hitting that 128 miles an hour on that lake bed, that was a win for me. That's why me and Adil were like high fiving. You know what I mean? I think all. I mean, in the conditions, especially in the conditions, because we saw how that thing was. You guys saw how that truck was. So I mean, but it's it gives you something to look forward to for next year. And learn from the mistakes, build better, build stronger. I mean, I want to race. I don't know about Adil. I want to race.
I want to get in there too. Yeah, I want to race
this is
too.
my
It's
calling.
just the beginning.
This is just the beginning, guys. It's just, well, that's why I was asking AJ his honest opinion about those Bilstein shocks. I mean, if I could get those folks to let me test them out, just I don't know how they expect people to buy those without testing them out, right? Like, how they gotta have to let you test drive their truck or something,
That's the email you got to send.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. We're gonna work on that. But like Chewy said, we went back and we actually went through the course and we were hitting, but with the terrestrial armor and with the bumpers and everything, I think I got some ideas. I think maybe with the Bilstein shocks with some 37s, upgrade all the airlines that AJ is concerned about. I think it's a real possibility possibly without a 2.5-inch lift. I think it's very doable. Just with some 37s and it's like those upper control arms that I already have.
So you guys are talking about buying another truck and making it a secondary race truck, right? Or just having
Correct.
it as a race truck for you and Adil. And
Correct.
I just get to ride in the back with a camera in my hand with no straps.
Hey,
Hopefully straps next
Chevy
time.
can do it, so can we. They had 3 passengers. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. They have like a little like a seat right in the middle,
Yeah,
just for
it's like
fun.
you're gonna be like this with your camera,
You're,
but
you're gonna
Yeah.
give, yeah.
you better
just give me
start
a
you better start
pacifier.
sending those emails to the 5-point harness guys.
Yeah,
You're
I'm gonna
need it.
need that. I'm gonna need it. But here's a question for you guys, since we're on the subject. Does it make more sense for you to buy a used Cybertruck, maybe even one that's, salvage title or something, or does the brand new with the coil springs, does that make more sense?
That's a very good question. It's I
Depends
don't
on those
know.
springs.
We're back and forth on it. No, it's not. You guys do know it's not just the springs, right? My truck is different than the new trucks that are coming out. Mine's is like aluminum cast, and then the new trucks that are coming out, it's all black. It's like steel cast. They
Yes.
upgraded the cast.
They
Mm.
upgraded.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, that's probably because they're thinking there's going to be more bounce, right? That's probably what
Well,
would make
I
sense.
think they were
Or do you think
having
they're just
early
doing it
on.
in general?
No, I think early on they were having a lot of problems. I personally know of 3 trucks that those mega castings broke. Personally, I've
Okay.
actually seen it.
Which
Which
Off-roading
doesn't
or
make any sense
just
to me. Yes, off-roading.
Oh.
I've seen it, and which doesn't make any sense to me because I jumped my truck, right? So it's like, so yours broke, but mine's
It's
didn't.
true.
Irrelevant to that. The good thing about being different casting is you can actually weld to those castings. That's what AJ's talking about. I don't know if they can do it to this particular truck because I think it's like mine.
Mhm.
So
I think you just
a lot
answered
of
the
things to
question,
think about.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Means that I'm gonna have to start loitering around the showrooms to see if I can get eyes on one of these coil spring trucks. Because it says coil
Yeah.
spring with adaptive dampening. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm very curious what they're designing.
They'll probably put regular Bilstein shocks on it, maybe
Mhm.
some live ones, like kind of like those Fox ones. They have a internal reservoir for dampening. That's what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
Those haven't come out yet, right?
No, I think they start coming out in June. They start. So
Yeah, they're
yeah,
supposed to come out in June.
Taking
so
orders.
they definitely upgraded the casting on the Cybertrucks because I'm sure Tesla knew about it because in the beginning, like 3 trucks, as Jerry mentioned, that the rear casting broke. So I mean, I'm sure Tesla had way more than that on their watch, and they were like, "Hey guys, we got to upgrade the casting or do something about this because
Mm-hmm.
the castings break, and once the casting breaks, you can't really fix it. It's pretty much done for." So
It's true.
yeah, so I'm glad that they upgraded the casting, and if we were to get the race truck, I mean, we'll see. It really depends what we find, and what the market looks like, and do we find a Cyber Beast or all-wheel drive, and
That's true.
so it'll all
I want to go 130 miles per hour. It has to be a beast.
it has to be a beast. Yeah, it has to be a beast.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be happy at 114. I can tell you right now.
I know. We're just gonna look at the screen, 114. We're like, oh no, it's not going more.
There won't be any high fives, is what you guys are saying.
High-fiving. No high-fiving at
No
114.
high-fiving.
I guarantee you that.
We have a comment from our good friend Jay. Jay is a longtime listener and has watched us since the beginning, right, Chase?
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Love my Cybertruck too. I am not driving these days." When he said that, I was like, "Whoa, what happened?" And he says, "My car drives for me most of the time."
I do miss that. That's one thing.
It's the truth.
FSD.
So appreciate you, Jay, coming in, joining us, and leaving that comment. And yes, the
Thanks, Jay.
Cybertruck, that FSD is something else. I'll tell you that.
It is.
So yeah, no, that's actually, you guys, I know you guys have talked about buying a truck and doing kind of what AJ and Chewy did, but I think like what Jerry said, I don't know if anybody missed that, but he said this is his calling. I think he's got that race itch,
I got a bug, man. I'm barely sleeping nowadays.
I mean, I see you online, posting videos of you trying to race Lamborghinis. I just see you.
No, dude, no.
You got that
I just
race
wanted
bugs.
To record 'em, and you could hear hear my wife like, "They're not racing you, bro. They're not racing." I'm like, "What?" It's like, dude, you're such a party pooper, Like,
Hey,
Uh-oh.
you need to be nice to her
Yeah.
because I'm assuming she's gonna have a little bit of say on that truck that you're gonna get for the racing truck.
Well,
But
that's kind of why me and the deal been going back and forth on our trucks. At first, we're like, well, we'll build my truck, or we could use yours. And buying a new truck I think it's out of the question because you have to gut it all out, like AJ said. And then we we have our own ideas too. I mean, we're talking about ripping the doors out and taking the tonneau cover, the tailgate. I'd rather lose 1,500 pounds of weight and add 1,500 pounds of battery.
yeah, that'd be pretty crazy. Can you make it a convertible?
Absolutely, we could make it a 4-seater with the roll cage if we get rid of that tonneau cover. That's what AJ was talking about. Because without the tonneau cover, and without that firewall, you could make the roll cage all the way to the back, making it a bigger box. Safety. And who knows? We could even reinforce it to the mega casting. It's because they did something similar to their truck where they put their tire rack. It's like a tube that also doubles up as a reinforcement for that casting in the back.
Interesting.
So
no, that would be actually cool. Yeah, and I do agree. I do see your point. If buying a used one,
or salvage. I'm looking
salvage.
at
no,
Copart.
100%. I think yes.
Copart right now has some
that's
good
what we're
deals.
looking at. Yeah.
What are you looking at, Chase? What are they going for? Don't look at it.
I'm looking at it. Yeah, and that's pretty much believable at this point. So 2025 Cybertruck with 3,000 miles. Current bid is $525. That's $525. So obviously that's not what it's going to sell for. But
no, it's not.
All these bids are really low.
They're going to be like between realistically, without too much damage. Like we gotta be able to make this thing drive again, right? So mediocre damage, airbags deployed, no problem. We got to rip that stuff out anyways, right? A couple of spindles in the front broken, no problem. As long as the motor, the battery, and all the main components are still good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we're gonna rip the doors out. So
there
hopefully
are tons with front end damage, but some of them are not that bad. Honestly, like it's not like completely crunched in front, but I got
my eye on one. I got my eye on one. One of the ones that broke that mega casting that I'm talking about. I know exactly what's wrong with it, so I'm watching it.
There we go.
Cyber beast.
And it's a beast. Yeah.
Some of them are already wrapped.
Well, that's I think Adil and I were talking about it when we were at AJ's shop, and I was saying, I mean, at this point, just with knowing Chewy and his expertise, it's like I don't even know if I'd ever buy a brand new Tesla again. It's like, hey, I want a Model X. I'm gonna go find a salvage one. I'm gonna go drop it off at Chewy's shop and say, hey, call me when it's done, when it's drivable and ready to, I can use it
with the 3-inch lift.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I put the one I'm talking about in chat. Oh, never mind. I was like, that front end damage doesn't look too bad, and I saw it from the nicer end, and I finally saw the other side. But it's still, even then, it's like, it still looks like it could be easily fixable. I mean, it's just front end damage on that right like corner panel. I mean, the front is almost completely intact. So I mean, yeah, there's some decent options. Make it work.
Yeah, there's a lot of Cybertrucks in salvage auction online.
Yeah.
Like we were looking at some of them. Like there's a few different websites, but you could just keep scrolling. Like, oh, another one. So there's a lot of Cybertrucks right now in salvage that we can find.
That's cool.
And just like we talked about the generator, me and the deal, we talked about, what we need is a generator and a fast DC charger, and then we try to go with smaller generators, and then we gradually now we know what we need. We need a fast DC charger out in Glamis, out in the middle of nowhere, right? We talked about it for a whole year before we actually made it reality. Now we literally own our own supercharger, right? So we talked about it, and then we have our ideas, and I think this is a very, very, very real possibility of building a second truck. But we are going to need you guys' help. But I think we can't do it without sponsors. I think we're going to have to reach out and reach out to anybody that's willing to help.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I mean, like I said, this is just the drop in the lake that's going to ripple and see even a bigger Mint 400 next year with two Cybertrucks.
You know,
at least.
Jerry, you talk about sponsors. I'm willing to pull a little money out of my pocket. I don't have much, but I could pull a little. But the only thing I request is I need my face like on the hood, on the front end. So that way, whenever you're like coming up on a competitor, when they look in the mirror, they just see my face. You know,
No,
my face
I
is just
think
coming after
Eric,
them.
you got it all wrong. This is racing. You want it in the back.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
So when
And
you
I'm just
pass
laughing
them
at
up,
them, and I'm throwing middle fingers too, or what? What am I doing?
you know what?
Okay,
Those guys,
all right.
those guys, you know, they even commented on some of Chewy's posts. Like it was great that you guys were out there. I mean, surprisingly, it was they were very accepting. Being that it's 99.9%, you know, ice cars. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and I think a lot of them respect it or accept it because they know nobody else is doing it. And then the fact
Yeah.
that, you know, we had a lot of things going. AG is very well known. So, you know, anybody that knows anything about racing, like you can't take knowledge and you can't facts. It's undeniable. It's undeniable, you know? So that's why I think it's very important that we actually keep going with this and build this momentum and get a second race truck, maybe even a third. Hey, we could even throw your Hummer in there, Eric.
We got a race Hummer, first one.
Race first Hummer in the mid
Call up
400
GNC.
with the
Yeah.
600-mile range.
I mean,
Yeah.
Didn't we
GNC
talk
can
about that?
sponsor that.
Did we talk about that? Like your Hummer actually has the same chassis as the Silverado EV.
That's what they use. Yeah, they use the Hummer. They use a tri-motor.
Yep.
They use the X3 Hummer powertrain and then just put the Chevy body on it.
Yeah. So Eric, Chevy finished this year. Cybertruck didn't. Are we convincing you yet?
Yeah, no, I think
Get the
You
gears
got
turning.
pretty quiet right there, buddy. You okay?
I just I know what you guys are trying to get me to do, and I'm very comfortable being unstrapped in the back of a Cybertruck. You know,
That's fair.
just with the camera in my
True.
hands.
That is very true. I've seen this. I can confirm.
See, now you guys got Hugo and chat going. That would be awesome. Put it in there, Eric. 3 Cybertrucks and the Hummer. Yeah, no.
Hey,
You know,
it's all doable.
I was getting excited when you talked about getting 3 Cybertrucks. I was like, okay, well, maybe Jerry's saying, well, maybe I get a Cybertruck, and we have triplets out there. And then
It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. And you know, I don't know if you I saw a meme the other day, like they showed this Bill Gates and all these people that are making money. It shows them and they're making their dollar count is going up, and then there's this guy racing and it's going negative.
Yeah.
Because that's
a money
what
pit.
racing is. Yeah, it's a money. And you win
Yeah.
a trophy. You know.
Yeah.
It's a very expensive sport for bragging rights, I guess.
Once again, I feel very comfortable being in the back of your Cybertruck, no straps, with the camera in my hands. I could do that all day. You know?
Well, one thing's for sure, we learned so much, even just by being there, that I think being behind the scenes made me think of a lot of things, you know, like better prep, having our own media coverage, having our own FPV guys, having a separate pit crew, having a generator and a fast DC charger on each pit. You never know when you're gonna need it. You know, I don't mind driving at night. Adil loves the night. You know what I mean? So
I could drive all night, no problem.
I'll be navigating half asleep, and Adil will still be driving at night. You know what I mean? So I don't mind going into it as long as the mid 400. You know, they're okay. Hey, but the Baja's like that. They don't stop.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know.
Yep.
So we gotta break the ice at some point.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, that would be fun. I mean, that's, you know, obviously all of this stuff is fun. I mean, it's got me into this even more so, you know. I was never into, I didn't even know what the Mint 400 was. You know, and then
it was so close to Vegas too.
Yeah, and so now it's like this is like something I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Even that whole weekend, I was watching on YouTube. Mint 400 had live coverage. I'm watching it. You know,
Yep.
it's like I was actually into it because now I'm like, hey, I know people that were there. They're racing it. It's like it was exciting for me. But here's a big question I have, Jerry. How's your drone?
I have a brand new. My drone is brand new.
No, did you get it? You bought a new one?
I had to, man. I had
I
to.
know. I
Yeah,
know.
they're on special on Amazon for $7.59. I don't know if they're no longer banned or what, but yeah.
Wait,
Mhm.
wait. Do you
It didn't
bought the
serve-
same one?
Yeah, I just needed to buy the drone itself, and I already had the controller. Right, it was just my drone that died. The
It's-
Cybertruck is a drone killer.
Yeah.
That Cybertruck has two drone counts now.
Really?
Oh yes.
Got a
Yeah,
body count?
A deal. Yeah, it's got a
Yeah,
body
mine.
count.
So, okay, this
Yeah.
is going to be your homework.
I'm not bringing my drone around that thing.
No. I'm even better than that. We need to find little like drone vinyl stickers and put it on Chewy's truck now. At least two.
Oh,
of
we're a
them.
hit. We're a hit.
Yeah.
Drone.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's actually why we went back last week to look for a deal's drone.
Really?
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's why we went.
Yeah.
We had
Was
a
it-
lot of footage on there. All the footage was on there.
Was it the
Oh, right,
FPV?
Yes.
Yeah. Luckily, Eric backs it up. So
You
Eric,
backed up some of it, though. Thank God. You backed
Yeah.
up.
Mhm.
If not, all of it.
you're
would've
the
been
only
lost.
one with the footage. Yeah.
Oh, so I gotta send that all to you. Oh shoot.
I know. Now the footage is with Eric.
Yeah.
Don't delete it.
Hey, I own the rights. Okay, I'm like the mid 400. I own the rights. You want them?
Right. That's the way it works. That's
Yeah.
the way it works.
Hmm.
Yeah.
No, but Jerry, real quick. I know we're kind of getting off subject of Cybertrucks, but you said you paid $749 for the new drone.
No. $6.59.
Man,
Just
inflation.
for the drone itself.
Inflation,
I don't know,
right?
man. I got an email. I don't know. You know, you get like your phone knows it, like, because it's always listening. I got an email.
Mhm.
Oh, the new DJI 5 Pro is now. It might be $650. I thought it was $659 or $749. I don't remember. I gotta look it up.
That's
it's
still a
on
lot of
Amazon,
money,
though.
though.
Not. We paid a lot more than that when it was when they were banned.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, we were looking at options from like Canada.
Yeah, we were talking about going to TJ and all kinds of stuff.
You know, they ask
yeah.
you, sir, what are you crossing the border for? Oh, to get a drone. Yeah, it's like what?
Actually, we have a funny video now.
Yeah, we do.
We'll
Yeah,
have to
it's
send
on
it.
the YouTube. It's one of the only YouTube that actually, what the videos I actually uploaded.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Okay, well, did we want to? I know we just kind of BSing here, but did we want to do Grok? Nobody's in a Cybertruck tonight.
I think Adil could do it on his phone.
Oh, can he?
Yeah, Brock. Let's see.
you do
Let's
that?
see. I can.
Do our viral segment, Grok Unhinged?
If you can, you got to tell me how to find it because
Well, I'm excited for you guys. If you guys end up going through with that Cybertruck thing,
We're
obviously
gonna
you'll
talk
probably.
about it for another 2 months at least.
Yeah, no, it's not going to be something you're going to do overnight.
Yeah.
It would be. That'd be cool. You know, just and it's probably sometimes better just to get one of those used, the salvaged ones, because then it's kind of like,
Dude,
it's already kind of
we want
taken
to
apart.
race the damn thing. It doesn't
Yeah,
have to be
yeah.
new. What
No.
if we roll
Mhm.
it over?
Yeah,
My
That's what I'm
crazy
saying.
ass will try to get to the finish line before
Well,
AJ and Chewy, and then I won't
mean,
stop.
it's gonna be like, hey,
Something
we're
we
missing a
didn't
tire. You're gonna be like, I don't care. Let's keep going.
We didn't even talk about that. But like, did you see some of the crashes from the Mint from
Oh,
the
yeah?
actual race?
100%.
Man,
Oh yeah. We
That's
saw
why.
some.
That's why the roll cage is mandatory. It's not
Mandatory,
an
yeah.
option. It's mandatory.
and every
mandatory.
one of them like walked away, like nothing
Of
happened.
course,
It was
of
like
course.
end
Okay.
over end type of crashes, and it's just like
Racing
Crazy.
has, evolved over the years,
Mhm.
and that's why they have to pass all this tech and inspection and inspect it again and make
Right.
sure they inspect it. You know what I mean? Because in the event that there is some sort of rollover, especially, can you imagine at 128 miles an hour and then that welded bolt could have been bad.
well,
Yeah,
that would have been the
could've
least of
really
their
bad.
worries if they were crashing at that speed. But yeah, man, it took. I think everyone saw the clip for sure, and was like, yeah, that took balls. Like it was not easy to make that choice, but now we know we can do it. I mean,
No,
when you guys were out there next, how fast did you guys do the other day?
He got up there. He got well over 100.
Yeah, there you go.
Well over 100. Yeah, I don't think we were keeping track. We're We're trying not to crash the drones, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make shirts that say like something like, save a drone.
My phone literally sends me a reminder like I need to buy another drone.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they're listening to you. That's what that is.
They're watching. The AI is watching us right now. Grok unhinged. Like later, if we talk about this moment, it'll be like, "Oh yeah, I was featured in the live stream."
No,
No way.
what's gonna happen is one of those robots that you guys are at the diner is gonna come up behind you and get in the picture and be like, "Hey, I want to be on the podcast." What the?
I saw your live stream.
Yeah.
Oh, oh yeah. We never know.
That'd be hilarious.
We got to be careful. There's actually a whole bunch of Optimuses right here where we're at.
See,
So.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, they got 3 over here. I just
Data collectors.
They just break out of the glass.
See, like iRobot. Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I had for tonight, guys. I don't know. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to add?
Oh, I found it. It's 7:59.
There you go.
Oh, he wants to make sure. 7:59.
Good.
On Prime, yeah.
There you go. All right, gentlemen. I appreciate you guys and appreciate everybody that joined us and left us a comment. We will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Thank you, guys. See you guys in 2 weeks.
Think so?
In 2 weeks.